How's it going, everyone? It is Wednesday, July 17th, 2024. Let's take a look at the picks from the last video. So I gave, I think, Uber long and NTNX short, both as day trades. So let's take a look at how that panned up. Now for Uber long, the first kind of clue I gave was that we wanted to see this stock get kind of break above this level right here. So you can see that we got a lot of pokes above this level, but we didn't quite break until we got over here. So when that happened at 2:45, it was later in the day. And when that alert set up, I wasn't super keen on taking Uber. You can see the market was pretty close to its high. We had a decent move on the, bullish cycle was already kind of in full flight. And so we're getting close to a bearish cross here. So you could certainly take it on the breakout here, but I actually ended up skipping on this. It was also pretty late in the day, and the stock was relatively weak. If you look at the stock, I mean, just at 245, the market has been rallying over here, but stock wasn't quite leading the way, and it was really just compressing. I wanted to see some more relative strength come up on this stock, on this market move higher. So didn't end up taking the trade. Now, if you did end up taking Uber, there was also a nice buy signal here. You could buy this out. You have to be careful of this bearish hammer here at 310, and then you probably scratch out of the trade at 315. So Uber, I'm going to count as a no trade. Just didn't quite, the market didn't quite, set up as how we wanted to, and Uber didn't quite set up how we wanted it to. All right, so we're going to take out Uber. The next one was NTNX. This stock is continuing its bearish descend. And I liked the LRSI cross that actually triggered in the video, somewhere around here, 53.30. It actually would have been a pretty nice short. But what was happening right now at that level, right around 1240, 1245, when it broke through the low of the day, was that the market was finding support and we had a bullish cross pending. So I wasn't as keen on taking that short. I think the clue would probably be somewhere around 105 on this sell signal. So it's a trade I didn't take, but now I'm looking to see if this is a trade that I should have taken. We broke through this level. We got this nice long candle on very, very high volume, sell signal, and then we got pretty good follow through. And then over here, you can see that this is the first sign of support, this bullish hammer. It gets moved back down again. Second sign of support, high volume, bearish engulf. Get some high volume candles here. This is when you want to get out of the trade. And then it pulls back a little bit. And then today, it is all systems go again. Volume is a little bit lower, but the price action is still pretty good. So again, NTNX, that was also a no trade, but there was probably a trade to be had in there. I think this was a win, but I just didn't quite game plan on that accordingly. I thought the market bounce could be a little bit stronger here, given that we had a little bit of a double bottom. I didn't know if we would have a range bound day or not at this point. I thought we could still have some sort of bullish trend day. Excuse me. So that was kind of my thinking, but the market ended up being flat, and that's all the stock needed. It needed to be flat so we could run down through this trend. Okay, so let's take a look at what the market is doing today. I need to remove NTNX first. All right, so overnight we had a drop in the S&P 500. So we finally got the drop coming in. And to be honest, I actually didn't think we'd get any sort of significant drop during the earnings season. So that wasn't part of my original game plan. I did expect the drop, but I thought the drop would happen a little bit earlier. And I thought that we would see at least somewhat of a decent bid into earnings season. So we had a drop, and the main thing that was the catalyst for that drop was two things. First, there was the ASML earnings. And the stock has been huge move down, kind of grinding down lower today. And it's really brought down all of semis. So if I look at Just some of these sectors over here. If I look at semis today, semis are pretty weak today versus SPY. They're all very, very weak versus SPY for the most part. There's a couple that are a little bit stronger, but they've been letting the charge down. They've been dragging down the market. QQQ is quite weak relative to SPY. If we look at the other sectors, IWM is actually holding its own, now a bit of a bearish hammer. RSP as well was strong early in the day, now a bit of a hammer. So now we're seeing some, in the morning, we weren't seeing as much broad sector participation in this sell-off, but now we're seeing a little bit more profit taking. And the broader the sector participation is overall, that'll tell us that we can, there's more conviction in the trend strength for today. So ASML kind of brought the whole, and semis kind of brought the market down. It just shows the market concentration is very high in that area. You can see that we're drifting, we're kind of trickling lower, but this is a very choppy move lower, right? This is a marginally low. We're kind of grinding lower, just dripping lower. Buyers are coming in a little bit. Sellers have control over here. This is we have weak control, somewhere between a -1 and a -2 right now. We got this bearish cross. It's been producing. So if you're in some weak stocks, you can kind of ride them out for most of the day and try to see if there's going to be any sort of bounce. The other thing was that Biden and potentially Trump, I think there was some news on chip regulations regarding selling to China. So they're trying to, I think, crack down on that from a political standpoint. And that's going to have impact on semis earnings, and specifically ASML earnings, given that, if China is a major global superpower, they are trying to make more AI chips, and they're going to need those, or more, artificial intelligence, LLMs, and other sort of Gen AI models. So they're going to need those chips to build those models, and that's kind of all you really have to know. So that's going to happen fundamentally here. So what is the implications? Well, right now, again, I'm still mildly bullish here. We're just kind of gauging this pullback. And on a longer term basis, this is actually what we want, because this pullback is going to help us find very strong stocks that we can enter on a dip and even to put credit spreads. So the whole theme that I was talking about, even in here, way back when I did the live stream with Pete, I believe on the 14th, I said, keep it balanced, keep it light. And we were early. We were about a month early to that. But now we're getting some sort of move. So let's see if there's going to be any sustained pressure or not. We have a gap, and we've held a gap, which is a pretty big sign. We need to see if we kind of hold some of these minor support levels over here coming up. So short term, we're still fundamentally mildly bearish, technically also mildly bearish. We're still in the uptrend. This is just a pullback. This is what we wanted. And the clue for you, if you're overboard too many shorts here, you got to be early to the move, right? Pro traders, they reduce risk before the reversal, not during the reversal. Okay, so let's take a look at the M30 chart. See what's been going on for the past couple days. Last video talked about this wide bullish channel that was kind of forming here. We're kind of testing the top. We had some major news. We broke through the channel here. We had good volume on that. We're testing now. There's this low from the small gap on the 10th, as well as this is I think this is a more major support level down here around 556. So I'm looking at 556 a little bit more, but 557 also comes into play a little bit. So that's kind of what I'm watching for here. SPY, where does SPY sort of find support, or are we close to resistance? But we can take this out for right now. And let's take a look at the M5 chart intraday. Again, gap down, and this was the nice clue here. So we rallied here. We got this little bearish hammer, so sellers are whacking it down. We try to get up here, so we get a little newer high, and then we get a pretty strong smack down to a new low of the day. So this was kind of the clue. Now, this move here tells us that there are a little bit of buyers, and then we have this little jump up over here that starts to stall. So I think if I was shorting SPY, this is probably where I would take the short somewhere here, and then ride this out until the end of this bullish cycle. So after this move, we've been just kind of steadily trickling lower. So there's these little green candles, and every time we try to get something going to the upside, sellers come and smack it down. So I think this is kind of a tough day to trade, in my opinion. A huge move has been realized on the gap, and now we're just seeing some mildly bearish moving over here. So I think the best bet really is to get, if you don't get in early in the day, you can probably get in on a late day trade. So looking for some sort of bounce, some sort of pullback in weak stocks, and then you can get in on that pullback. So that's going to be kind of the game plan today. We're still going to stick with day trading, and hopefully in the next few days, if the market starts to find some support, we can get in on some longer term swings. All right, so a couple stocks here. Let's go to my tags for the day, sort by range. So a few things. Healthcare stocks, they were looking pretty strong today. J&J, absolute monster on the open. Match also looking pretty good here, kind of grinding up. So a bit of a choppy stock here, but certainly grinding up. I had Foxa as well. Let's look at the D1 chart for Foxa. Really nice D1 chart. I love this test on the open, and then it's been grinding up higher. Pulling back over here, there is some volume coming in on this pullback, so kind of watching out for that. But Foxa certainly pretty decent, pretty low ATR, so don't really look to trade it. Pfizer was nice. You can see now it's selling off, so that's why you want to wait on some of these days. Got a little too parabolic. I like TXN earlier in the morning. It was really strong relative to all the other semis. Yeah, you can see it's kind of giving away some of its gains. So, there's a couple stocks on the short side, or sorry, on the long side. On the short side, I think 5 has been a very nice selling. They've lowered guidance. Huge move overnight. There's been some continuation here. Stock's kind of compressing a little bit. So could be a pretty decent one here. I think we have this descending triangle pattern coming into play. We're holding this low, so I think if we can crack through the low of the day from this candle, that could be a pretty decent short setting up. But I want to wait for a bounce. I really just want to find a stock that once this market has started to bounce a little bit, this stock is showing some relative weakness. Right now, it's a little bit hard to find those stocks. I think your best bet is trading semis because those have been leading the move down on very, very high volume. Schwab also continues down. Massive move down today. Wow, what a continuation. Right, this is a beautiful LRSI pullback right here. Get in. And I'd probably actually ignore the buy signal because the M15 will be on a sell signal. But yeah, nice move up, pulling back down again. So going to set an L RSI alert. If it goes less above 80 than less than 80, that would give me a nice little entry on Schwab. Some other tech stocks here, WDC, also looking pretty well. There's a nice LRSI entry on this guy on the day. So I think we can set up another one on this guy as well. See if we get another pullback. So I wouldn't be crazy to chase some stocks right now. Try to get in a pullback at a good price. There's a lot of stocks that have some D1 technical breakdowns here that are setting up very nicely for day trading. AR is a great one too. Breaking out the 100-day SMA. A bit of a choppy stock, but certainly very viable for day trading. So I'm trying to give a good pick, and I really want to see what a market does on a bounce. You can see that we're getting a lot of volume on this candle right here. Now, sometimes it means something. We might get a little bit of follow through, and then it comes back down. But it does tell us that buyers are still in here, and it just has me a little bit more cautious. So yeah, let's see if this bounce can get anything going. And if it starts to fail, then we can look at something on the downside. So my pick for today, I think I'm going to go. Yeah, I love the volume on WDC. So I think I'm going to go WDC on an LRSI pullback if the market bounce is pretty weak. So I think that's going to be my day trade short for today. Let's add that to our YouTube picks. And then final housekeeping note, although this doesn't have to do with the trade itself. But woke up today with not really good sleep, and my market or my decision making process is compromised. My emotional management is compromised. So I am very cautious about making decisions with my trading today. I know that when I don't get a lot of sleep, my trading decisions can go out the window. So I'm knowing that I'm not making any. If I'm in one or two swings, I'm not making any major decisions right now. I am in, looking to try to get a really good day trade long here, and that's it. That's nothing really. Trying not to push it too much here, because if you get in a stock and you don't have a great plan, that's when things can really go against you, and that's what I've learned in the past, and that's what I want to not make that mistake in the present. So again, WDC is the pick for today. Thanks everyone for watching. Let's take a look at how this pick does in tomorrow's video.